Alright, so today we're going to go through and show you how I dismantled and destroyed my layout. I only destroyed a little bit of it, but nonetheless I had to take it all apart. So in this video, you're going to see how I did that. Well, I absolutely dislike doing wiring. It is not one of my funnest jobs that you could have in model railroading. Also, taking it down is just as exciting and fun as putting it all together. I always admire the people who can put all this together and make it look absolutely beautiful and neat. It's something I aspire to do, and I fell short slightly, just a little bit. So I have to take all this down. I'll save as much wiring as I can, and but the next layout, this is going to be something that I take a little more time in, make it look a lot nicer and neater. This was all pretty much just cinched up here like that, and it also makes it a lot harder to diagnose what is wrong with your layout if anything arises. But one thing that's good is I did a video on how to wire tortoises. I'll put the link up there to that video. And now all you gotta do is take this out. It's a nice clean package, and it's ready for the next layout. So don't have to unsolder anything. Just take it off of the terminals and you're ready to go. So now it's time to take apart my industry, pull up all the tracks. I had some really good comments in the last video about trying to take this all off together in one piece, saving it, which is a great idea. I just didn't make this bench work easy to take apart. That's actually the worst bench work you could ever build. So if you ever want to build really horrible bench work, this is how you do it. I have a solid piece of plywood, then 2x4s, and then another 1/2 inch on top. So it's really hard to work in that area in between the two. So do not recommend doing that. My next layout is going to be all open frame bench work, so then I can run all the wires before I put the sub-road bed down. And I'm going to pull all this up, and I like this switching layout here, but I want to transfer it to the new one. But I'm going to redo it all, make it work real nice. And this area worked really good. I had very little problems with any engines or derailments. Some over here, but the rest was pretty good. So lessons learned. I'll take what I learned here, apply it to the next one, and make more mistakes on my next layout, which will be extremely fun and exciting. So even my wife was like, why don't you just take us all out in one piece? And I said, yeah, it's just not going to work out that well the way I built it. But even someone who doesn't know about trains knows that you should build it to move it if you plan on moving, which we didn't. But I might build a small modular layout in my garage for the time being that I can put into my next layout. So I think that'll work out pretty well. So I'm going to start taking this apart now. Alright, so I'm pulling up the track work here, pulling the pins out of the track, and I realized that the wires are still connected to terminals. So I undid those, and when I pull out the track work, I pick it up, cut the feeders off, and put them away. And continue on here. When I pull out the turnout here, I'll just coil up all the wires and then stow them away. So when I pack them away, they'll be all nice and neat. So all I pretty much do is keep rinsing and repeating until the whole project's done. Alright, well that's all done. It only took me maybe a half hour to take apart. It wasn't put down that strongly, I guess, or securely. I did use nails. Where are you? Nails. So Nails is kind of like an instant gratification thing. You nail them in, you're done. Doesn't look prototypical, but I didn't ever mind it. It didn't look too bad to me. And also, once you ballast, you can take all the spikes out and it'll stay. So that's what made it so easy. And taking apart all the wiring underneath wasn't too bad either. Especially if you use those terminals like this. All I did was unscrew it. The wires fell out. I just pulled the wires up through the track bed. So it worked out well. Now, on to the next part. So for my next trick is pulling apart my Arduino system. One was for the speedometer and the other one was for the signaling system. So I'm going to mark these so I remember which one they are and pull apart all this wiring. So that'll be the fun part. And then in here there is a tunnel, so I'm going to have to pull up all this plywood here to get to the tunnel so I can pull out everything. This was the 2x4s I was telling you about earlier. So you got this solid piece underneath your sub road bed of the 2x4s and then a 1/2 inch plywood on top. Horrible design. Don't do it. It's hard to get underneath and wire things. So you end up with stuff like this. Drilling holes through here and running them across, which does not work very well. So we'll continue with this. Oh, and I'm just pulling these things apart willy-nilly, and I'm not worried about how they're going to go back together. I'll just redesign the whole thing because it's going to be a whole new system. I'm not sure if I want to go with NCE signaling system or Arduino again, but Arduino, in my opinion, can be a little finicky. Now, I'm not saying it's not operator error, but I need something that is more solid because I'm not super up on the technical aspects of Arduinos. If something goes wrong with it, I'm dead in the water. So I already have an NCE system, so I might just stick with their signaling system. The one thing I like about the Arduino is the speedometer. I like knowing exactly scale speed of my trains. So that might be an issue. I was thinking of getting that, I don't remember what the name is called now, but there's a speedometer that the train goes through. I might do that and then find out what notches each speed is and then write it somewhere so I know. But I'll continue on doing this. You sit back and enjoy whatever it is you enjoy about these videos. So for right now, I'm separating everything, my feeder wires, my terminal blocks, my Caboose Industry ground throws, all my turnouts and track. And then I'll package them all up real nice and put them away for my next layout. Alright, well here it is, a few hours of work and it's all gone. It probably took me 3 or 4 hours to do this. So this is my sub road bed, and you can see down there is the holes cut out for my tortoise switches. So that's one of the big issues I had. I couldn't get from underneath, so I had to cut out holes. The next person will just have to cover it up or something. I only have a few more holes on the other side. And over here is where the Arduinos were, and it was going to be my town scene. So now I have to work on this section, take this all down. This was my yard and where all my hand-laid track is. So this is going to be pretty tough for me to pull up. It's all my hand-laid track. literally blood, sweat, and tears. No cursing was involved in putting any of this in, which is really good. But there's this 1/8 inch plywood here that I was nailing everything to. I would glue it down with wood glue, all the ties, and then spike in the rails onto that. So it was a nice steady surface, strong. I'm going to try to, this is glued and nailed to the plywood underneath. So I'm going to try to pull it up and see what happens, and maybe not take all this apart and just reuse it. We'll see. Not really sure how it's going to work out. All right, we are going to try to lift up this sub roadbed and see if I can get it up in one piece and not disturb it. There's actually 4 of these. One here, 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 actually 5. So let's see if we can pull this up. I'm doing this live, semi-live, so you guys get to see exactly how this is gonna turn out. There it is. I bring it over. That's where this piece, let's see. This piece right here was stuck, pretty glued down pretty good, and it ripped it all apart. I did good over here, but it started coming apart right there. So I don't know how to do this. Keep going and just fix this little spot. Hopefully the rest stays together. I guess that's what we'll try. Got it. I don't know how. It's not perfect, but it's not. You gotta take all the wires out from the turnouts. That's what's holding this in right now. Alright. Here we go. It is all loose. Not bad, I don't think. I think that worked out better than I was expecting. I'll just have to transport it like this. I'll have a few things to fix up, but I don't think it's a problem. It's just keeping it like this for the next however long. So worked out good. I'm excited. I think just some minor repairs. All right, something else I wanted to go over is something I'm going to change in the next layout. Is this is my like command center where everything goes to, and it was on the kind of front side of my layout. The next time I'm going to put this right in the middle so the wires can go either way in both directions. I had to make some very long runs to get from here all the way around to the other side. So that's something that I took away from this that I'm going to change for next time. Alright, everything has been taken down. There is no more layout. This is what it looked like, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching the destruction and takedown of my layout. I'm looking forward to building a new one. I am already designing it, so stay tuned for that. And remember, it makes sense if you don't think about it.